Sylvester Stallone, a name that is synonymous with film, an actor that has worked since 1969, and not only acted, he's written, he's directed. This guy is without doubt one of the larger than life individuals that Hollywood have ever given us. And today I'm going to give you my top 5 Sylvester Stallone projects, characters, films, that sort of a thing. My top 5 favourite Sylvester Stallone projects. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to another top 5 voted for by you. Yes, again, you had the choice to vote on whether for this top 5 I done Sandra Bullock, Bruce Willis or Sylvester Stallone. Sylvester Stallone won with over 50% of the votes. So you want to see what my favourite top 5 Sylvester Stallone projects or films or characters, whatever way I want to do it, are. Now, like always, when I do these videos, I bulk together any franchises. So all of the Rockies, all of the Rambos. Otherwise, I could end up going to you, oh, I'm a big Rocky fan, so Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yes, we'd count them as one project, so to speak, or one character, whatever way you want to look at it. And also, hit the subscribe button, because after this video, in half a week, whatever it may be, I'll put up another voting poll for you to vote on my next top 5 actors projects. I'm not sure who I'll include this time, so keep an eye out on that. So in that, hit that notification bell, because that'll keep you apprised when that does come up. So let's not kick around. Let's talk about Sylvester Stallone and his projects. So yes, now I'm a big fan of Sylvester Stallone. I do like him. It's a hard push between who I like more, him or Arnie, but I think that Sylvester Stallone just you know, nudges Arnie out of that top spot, because Stallone is quite a clever individual. Like I said, he has written many a film, he has directed many a film. He doesn't just work in front of the camera, and at times he can act. He has given some fantastic performances. Now, unfortunately, I say unfortunately, but it's not really unfortunate, but in the 1980s he got bogged down with the stereotypical macho muscle man Hollywood persona that the films that we got, like Arnie done and all things like that. So his acting kind of took a back seat to the over-the-top muscle man kind of era for him. But yeah, so I say, you know, and that gave us a lot of fantastic films, but you know, it took away from what he could do as an actor, as a writer, that sort of a thing. So anyway, let's without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's find out these films here. So I'm going to start with my 5th spot. So my 5th favourite project, character, whatever you want it to call it, is 1997's Copland. Yes, Copland, starring a wealth of fantastic actors, including the late Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, Harvey Keitel. This film came as directed by James Mangold, who's just given us the latest Indiana Jones. And this is a fantastic film, and this sort of a very low profile film, not a big budgeted film, but it gave Stallone some acting to do. It gave him the chance to explore his acting chops once again, especially considering he was acting opposite these fantastic actors, and he held his own against them, just to prove that still Stallone can actually act. He certainly can. So yes, Copland is always one that I like to go back and revisit. It's a slow burn movie. It's not fast paced. It's not got no massive action set pieces or things like that, but a wonderful performance from Stallone. Now in 4th spot, from 1996, where he played Freddie Heflin. in Daylight. Yes, Daylight, the film where these people are stuck in the tunnel after an explosion and he has to go in and rescue them. It's akin to those sort of disaster movies of that era, a little bit Die Hardy, that sort of a thing in the mix. And I really enjoyed this film. I thought this film was fantastic. And yes, it's got a certain element to it that speaks to me, that draws me in. And a film for me that I revisit quite often, more than Cliffhanger and things like that. So yes, a fantastic movie. Very fun, a lot of fun. And then dropping into third space, and this is one of Stallone's newest projects, and that is Tulsa King. Tulsa King. Wow. It's just come on. It's just started. Tulsa King on Paramount. You know, the first season's been and done. They're working on a season 2. And in this, Stallone plays Dwight Manfredi, who is essentially a mob, a mafia, whatnot. And he gets exiled, coming out of prison, he gets exiled to Tulsa, where he sets up his own criminal empire with these other individuals from the town. And again, this is a series that, you know, Stallone again gets the chance to prove that he can act with this series. It is fantastic. Stallone steals the scene. Every scene that he's in, he's likeable, he's menacing. It's a really good TV show, and long may this live. I hope to see many seasons of this for Stallone. Interestingly, obviously Stallone and Schwarzenegger both get a TV series at the same time. Obviously, Schwarzenegger gets Fubar, which ain't the greatest. Nowhere near as good as this. This program isn't funny. It's not done tongue-in-cheek like Fubar is or anything like that. It's quite a serious drama, and it's really good. So then in my second spot we have Rambo from 1982 onwards up to, well, almost to present. Stallone's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Rambo films. Is it 5? You got Rambo, or First Blood, I should say. First Blood Part 2, Rambo 3, then John Rambo, as it's called in some territories, and then Last Blood. So 5 of these films. Okay, differing quality all around, but you can't knock the first Rambo film, the First Blood. That is a magnificent movie, based on a fantastic book as well. The character then went off into that sort of 1980s Macho Man kind of a action icon, only to then be brought back later on with John Rambo, which I thought was a fantastic fitting end to the character, that it went full circle and he finally came home. But then we were given Last Blood. Now, Last Blood as a film, it's an okay film if it's not watched as a Rambo movie. If it was named something else and he was named something else in it, it would have been far better received than what it actually was. It's not really a sort of, you brought him out of retirement for this, and although it's got some fantastic scenes in it, some fantastic set pieces, it doesn't really feel part of that franchise, but it certainly is. So then we've got our number 1 spot, but I won't get that into a minute. I'll get to that last. I just want to talk about some of the ones that you may be surprised are not on this list, or ones that nearly made the list. So, what should we talk about? Demolition Man. Demolition Man, yes, that's a 1990s, mid-90s movie, and I know a lot of people love this film, and I don't. It's a film that I find contradicting and difficult to watch. I can't get my head on board with the story, with the fact that you've got these people that are, you know, they're woken up in this future where the police have no idea on how to deal with crime whatsoever, because it's such a peaceful society, and this is played on heavily at the start of the film when we get to the future, when Stallone's character is awoken. But then we come to find out that there is an underground society of individuals that do pop up to the surface and create a little bit of trouble. So why don't the police know how to deal with crime if these people are down there and come up and cause a little bit of trouble? It kind of contradictory in itself, you know, because they cause trouble, so they should know how to deal with trouble. But yet it's because it's badly written, basically. It's not very well written. Another film that came round at that era is Judge Dredd. Now, Judge Dredd gets a lot of hate, right? And I loved it. I loved it. I really did. I really enjoyed Judge Dredd when it came out. It's not the character of Judge Dredd, I know that. It's not... It's a wonderful film that gives you the world of Judge Dredd without giving you the character of Judge Dredd. It does everything right in world building. Everything is there. However, it's a film that I love to hate now, in that every time I watch it, I dislike it that much more. I really do. There are elements of it that I love, and I liked Stallone in it. I didn't like the mask removal and that sort of a thing. I liked the outfit, I liked the bikes, I liked the whole world. But it's a badly made film. You know, I can sit through this film and I can point errors in you know, and question things all the time. Like, just for argument's sake, the film starts and we're introduced into Mega City 1. Fantastic shot where what's his face, little Scheider's character, gets in that taxi and it goes up and it's dark, it's night time, or you're led to believe it's night time, and the little taxi flies up over the top of Mega City 1, and we come to see that it's actually daylight. It's daylight because this city has been built upwards inside these walls all the way up. So those bottom areas of Mega City never actually see daylight, much like comics, right? But then later on in the film, the scene where Stallone blows up the red Lamborghini. What is it? It's daylight. They decided to film a lot of this film in daylight, which makes no sense. This whole film should have been a nighttime shoot to give you that dark aesthetic, right? And the film is filled with these errors in continuity and errors. And every time I see it, I could sit there and I can just point to you, look at that. I can see a bits where there's special effects that haven't been filled in, and you can see sets behind the sets and things like that. It's one of those films that I love to hate. But one film that nearly did make the list was Escape to Victory from 1981 with Michael Caine and football player Pele. One where Stallone and et al. Are in the Nazi war camps, and they have to play football, and they find a way to escape. And this is a really good film. It's a really, really good film in that it's, you know, it doesn't play the Nazis as being the usual nasty bad guys. They're human. They're, you know, even Max von Sydow's character is you know, okay in it. Do you know what I mean? It's not played in that kind of a way, but it's just a strong film. Now, other films that you'll see ejected from this list are things like Cobra and not Commando, that was Schwarzenegger, but do you know what I mean? That sort of era of action that Stallone done. And to be honest, I wasn't that big on that sort of era of him. Those sort of straight action movies. Yeah, they just sort of felt like bland copies of Rambo. Do you know what I mean? Another version of that. So I never really got into them too much. But anyway, so that's a little sort of look into some of the other films. So my number one spot, and there's no surprise to anyone, is filled by Rocky. Yeah, Rocky from 1976. It's almost to present, and a franchise that's still running, obviously with Creed 3, but without Stallone in that movie, unfortunately. Stallone has done 6 Rocky movies and appeared in 2 franchise movies in Creed. So he's done 8 films as the character of Rocky Balboa, and he's a wonderful character. He really is. It's one of those films that just inspires you. It's an inspirational character, and the character is very much a reflection. That first film is very much a reflection of Stallone, in that you've got this struggling actor trying to make it big, trying to make a name for himself, Rocky Balboa. It just mirrors him and what he's done, essentially, or what he was trying to do at the time. And all the films, even when they dip in quality, still have something good to offer in the character of Rocky Balboa. What more can I say? That franchise speaks for itself. It's one of the best franchises, strongest franchises ever made and committed to screen, and you can't not but love them. So there we go. Hi all, I'm just interjecting with a little announcement, just to make you aware that this month over on Video Tasties channel, Gareth's channel, he is doing a Sly July or some silly named month devoted to none other than Sylvester Stallone. Now, normally I would maybe partake and send him a list such as what I've done here, but I couldn't do that because you voted on Stallone as my month's, or for this week, actor to do my top voting for. So unfortunately, Gareth, that comes first. But what I'm saying to everyone is go and check out Gareth's channel, get involved in his Ju-sly, or I don't know what name he came up with, but there we go. Just go over, subscribe to Gareth Video Tasties, link in the description below. Now back to it. So there we go, 5 projects for you, my 5 favourite Stallone projects: Copland, Daylight, Tulsa King, seriously if you haven't watched it, go watch it, Rambo and Rocky. That's me done for another list. So like I said, hit the subscribe button, come and join the channel, because in a week's time or before there will be a poll put out for you to vote upon for my next actor to take a look at. And I think I'm going to throw Harrison Ford in the mix this time, and why not?